The galactic combat arena floated in the void between star systems, a massive structure where 1,000 species gathered to prove their worth. Mia stood in the preparation chamber, her breathing steady, her eyes fixed on the reinforced doors that would soon open to the main floor. Beside her, Arthur checked the neural interface on his wrist, his jaw tight with controlled anger. "They think we're entertainment," Mia said quietly, her voice carrying an edge that could cut steel. Arthur nodded, his dark eyes meeting hers. "They always do. Until they learn otherwise." The humans had been captured 3 weeks ago, plucked from their survey vessel like specimens for a zoo. The Krath Dominion, a coalition of warrior races that controlled this sector, had a tradition. New species were tested in the arena. It was meant to be educational, they said. A demonstration of where each species ranked in the cosmic hierarchy. What the Krath didn't understand was that humanity had already learned its place in the universe. They had learned it in the trenches of Earth's endless wars, in the cold vacuum of space when their first colonies failed, in the desperate years when they fought off extinction from their own creations. Humans knew exactly where they stood, wherever they damn well chose to. The doors hissed open. The roar of the crowd hit them like a physical wave. Hundreds of thousands of beings representing dozens of species, all gathered to watch the new specimens fight. The arena floor stretched before them, a circular platform half a kilometer wide, dotted with obstacles and weapon caches. Their opponents were already waiting, 6 Krath warriors, each standing 3 meters tall, their exoskeletons gleaming under the harsh lights. The Krath resembled enormous mantises with forearms ending in blade-like appendages and mandibles that could crush titanium. They were apex predators from a high-gravity world, bred for combat across 1,000 generations. The Krath champion, a scarred veteran named Thraxor, clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among his kind. Through the translation implant forced into their ears, Mia and Arthur heard his words echo across the arena. "Softskins," Thraxor announced, his voice dripping with contempt. "Weak gravity dwellers. You will provide adequate amusement before you break." Mia walked forward, her posture relaxed, almost casual. She stopped at the designated mark, 10 meters from the Krath line. Arthur remained at her shoulders, silent and watchful. "We don't want to fight," Mia said clearly, her voice amplified by the arena's systems carried to every corner of the vast space. "Let us leave and no one needs to get hurt." The crowd erupted in laughter. Even the Krath warriors seemed amused, their mandibles clicking in a cascading rhythm. "Stop," Mia said, her voice dropping to a tone that somehow cut through the noise. It wasn't loud, but it carried weight, the weight of a species that had clawed its way up from the cave to the stars. "This is your only warning." Thraxor's laughter boomed louder. "The soft skin thinks she gives warnings. This will be over in—" He never finished the sentence. Mia moved. Not fast by dramatic standards. Humans weren't the quickest species in the galaxy, but she moved with purpose, with economy of motion, with the accumulated knowledge of 10,000 years of warfare distilled into every step. The Krath had faster reflexes. They had stronger bodies. They had natural weapons that could shred most biological materials. What they didn't have was humanity's gift, the terrible, beautiful ability to turn anything into a weapon, and the absolute refusal to accept defeat. Mia's first move was simple. She grabbed a fist-sized rock from the arena floor and threw it. Not at Thraxor, but at the joint of his rightmost blade arm at the exact angle where the exoskeleton segments met. The rock struck with precision born from countless hours of practice, countless generations of ancestors who survived by throwing stones at things that wanted to eat them. The joint cracked. Not much, just enough. Arthur was already moving, circling left while the Krath focused on Mia. His hand found a discarded piece of metal from a previous match, and he tested its weight with the instinctive knowledge of a species that had invented hundreds of thousands of weapon variations. The second Krath charged at Mia. She didn't try to meet its strength, that would have been suicide. Instead, she dropped low, faster than the creature expected, and swept through its middle legs with a move that would have looked at home in any human combat sport. The Krath, built for high-gravity stability, suddenly found itself in the arena's standard gravity, overbalanced and falling. Mia was on its back before it hit the ground. Her improvised weapon, a shard of ceramic she'd palmed earlier, driving into the weak point behind its head. The Krath spasmed once and went still. The laughter in the arena had stopped. 5 minutes in, 2 Krath were down. Arthur had used the metal bar to lever one opponent into another, creating an opening that Mia exploited with ruthless efficiency. They moved like a single organism, communicating with glances and gestures, utilizing tactics refined over millennia of humans fighting in pairs, in teams, in units. 10 minutes in, the crowd was silent, watching in disbelief. 3 more Krath had fallen. Mia's face was streaked with blue Krath blood, but her eyes remained cold and focused. Arthur's breathing was heavy but controlled, his movements still precise. Thraxor faced them alone now, his earlier arrogance replaced with something humans recognized well, the dawning realization of a predator that it had become prey. "You see?" Mia said, circling him slowly. "Humans spent hundreds of thousands of years as the weak ones. We weren't the biggest or the strongest or the fastest. We survived because we learned to think, to adapt, to turn our weaknesses into weapons." Arthur moved to flank the Krath champion. "We learned to kill things bigger than us, smarter than us, more dangerous than us. We got very, very good at it." Thraxor lunged, a desperate attack fueled by fear and fury. It was fast, faster than most species could track. But Mia and Arthur had grown up watching high-speed combat footage, training in simulations that pushed human reaction time to its absolute limit. They moved as one, Arthur drawing the attack while Mia struck from the side. 3 seconds later, Thraxor was on the ground, his exoskeleton cracked in a dozen places, his mandibles clicking weakly. Mia stood over him, not even breathing hard. She looked up at the viewing platforms, at the hundreds of thousands of aliens who had come to watch humans be humbled. "We said stop," she stated, her voice carrying across the arena's perfect silence. "Next time someone says that, maybe you should listen." Arthur walked to her side, and together they turned toward the exit. The crowd parted without a word. No one moved to stop them as they left the arena, walking through corridors that had been locked before but now opened at their approach. 20 minutes. That's how long it had taken for 2 humans to remind the galaxy of a simple truth. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through superior strength or natural weapons, but through sheer stubborn refusal to be anything less than free. Behind them, the silence lingered, heavy and profound. The silence of a galaxy learning respect the hard way.